me now. Now we've switched into our Art Bell segment of our podcast. In hour 3 here we go spooky.
From the East Coast, if you're best on the West, call 555-8255. If you're on the West Coast, called Wildcard Lines 866-542. Oh God, I love Art Bell.
You remember the numbers? Holy
No,
fuck.
I'm bullshitting, but they're close. They're close.
No, see, because I remember numbers from shit. If you'll allow me, please.
Yes.
You just mentioned something that I wanted to bring up. Art Bell died.
Yes,
And he was a huge formative person in your childhood.
absolutely.
In tribute, because Harry Anderson died.
Yes.
I'm a huge Harry Anderson guy. And I thought that perhaps Art Bell's death would impact your life the way Harry Anderson's death impacted me. And I just wanted to pay tribute to both men.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Pizza, they throw the word genius around a lot, but you know, I just do what I do.
I definitely want a download of this. You are a special type of girl talk, my friend. This is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, mixed by Crypticus, this goes out to Art Bell and Harry Anderson. This is called Night Court Coast to Coast.
Oh my God, dude, this is fucking amazing. I'm feeling this harder than a white girl at Starbucks listening to Cardi B. This is some fucking this is touching my soul and oh come on, give me.
Well, there you go, folks. Yeah, boy. I don't know. Should we put that on iTunes? This might be what I'm remembered for. Is this fucking...
That's going to be played on your video tombstone.
This podcast will be played in court someday. Don't smell it. Don't smell it, you creep. He's smelling his microphone, creeping me out here. It's just good to find someone creepier than me. That's where he is on my chart.
You gotta always find someone who's a peg worse.
Oh shit! Oh, that's a good idea, right? Shouldn't I spill beer directly on all the equipment?
All the stuff that was super easy to set up? Yes. Pour the beer all over it. You're gonna leave all of these hard edits in. You're not gonna cut any of them.
Well, now my mouse is completely soaked. I'm sure I'm not going to need my mouse. Now it's spreading towards the USB. Here it comes. Everything's going wrong.
No. Grab that towel over there for the man, if you would.
It's everything you dreamt of. Okay, now I got to turn this shit off. It should be okay.
It'll be
gotta fucking. Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
On the topic of the kilt, are you...
You don't have to tell the audience I'm wearing a kilt.
Well, because I have questions.
Hello, I'm wearing a towel. You don't have to broadcast it. That could have been private information. Yes, I'm wearing a kilt, ladies and gentlemen. I guess that's controversial. Let's talk about it on the podcast.
Well, it's not controversial, but I just want to know, and I've saved this question for when the mics were hot. Are your balls on my couch?
I don't follow the traditions. So no, I don't wear the kilt in a traditional sense. I am wearing a chones underneath.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, all right. Well, that... I didn't mean to cast aspersions. I just figured that you're a traditional man and you might be following a traditional girl.
But is the problem my balls, really? Like,
No.
Because wouldn't you be more worried about what's behind the balls? The business end?
That would be more the shotgun barrel as it would be. That would probably bother me more. If you're listening, we're taking sponsors for the Filth Chamber. If you've ever wanted to be broadcast to dozens of listeners who only care about horror and death metal, predominantly, like overwhelmingly male.
Yes.
There's not a woman that listens to this podcast.
But still.
Yes.
But still. I've had sex with quite a few women, so I must be doing something right. I've had sex with over 20 women. I promise you. So
congratulations.
I'm not that bad.
Is that what the kids call your body count?
Oh, Pizza, these were special women. Each one of these ladies was special. Thank you for having sex with me. Don't let your current husband listen to this podcast.
Okay, put it away.
Well, I want you guys to see it though.
Is that why you wore the kilt?
Yes. 2 dozens. That's how many women I've had sex with. And none of them are listening to this podcast. Like,
They're on their own podcast talking about their rock bottom.
you think this would be a good volume, or should it be louder?
A little louder. I need to feel it shaking in my balls. Yes.
This is a blind. More?
This is getting. It's in the realm of feasibility at this point.
And you still hear yourself? Okay.
I feel great.
All right. No, keep talking shit. I'm just gonna.
Are you gonna do that thing where you play someone we know, like personally, and then have me talk shit about him, and then cause trouble there?
Sure. Like these guys, you mean?
Oh yeah, we don't need these guys.
No, I mixed this. This is. It's pretty. It's
you liar.
So I don't know. One thing I wanted to do maybe is, I have all this fucking slam shit with the pingy snare, and I want to just. I think I want to do a podcast where I just play a bunch of that for you and try to turn you on to that.
Okay, yeah, convince me because I'm not sold.
Oh, you'll be sold, baby. But I have to get my ducks in a row.
Yes, you got a long way to go.
I think I need to make some folders. Yes, we're here. There's other people here in the filth chamber. Is Ashley just gonna sit over there and like look daggers into the back of my neck while we record?
Yes, that's actually the plan, is to try to fuck you up. Since you're the fucked up dungeon master with the games here, who's gonna make me look bad in front of everyone. She's the one who's keeping tabs, and she's watching you like a hawk.
Yeah. See, we just keep running out. Hey, request me something here.
I would like to hear hip hop that shaped you as a child.
Oh Jesus. Wow. All right.
Specifically, let me think about the year. A young Patrick Bruss. He's got a pink backpack, sitting on the bus with gigantic headphones, bigger than his head.
No, you're getting close.
With his feet dangling, kind of kicking them back and forth like as his untied shoelace flips back and forth. Kind of twiddling his thumbs, looking around, like wondering if anyone knows that he's listening to this hippity hoppity, bippity boppity fucking woo. That's what I want to hear. The secret stuff that was like, oh, I hope none of these guys understand or hear. Like, I hope they can't hear it through the headphones. That's what I'm really.
Boy, you're getting pretty close there. Yeah, if I let you go for another 10 minutes, you'd nail it.
Why do you think? It's because I was on the bus too, listening to fucking hip hop that I was hoping no one would hear me listening to.
You were like in the gangster era, right?
Yeah,
am I correct?
Yes, it was more the gangster era, and it was like day camp where they'd come pick you up in a big white van and put you in a van with a bunch of other little kids and take you to like a bowling alley, but you'd just be like, you'd never know who any of these kids were. It was just
what are you talking about? Are you serious?
Yes, that was a day camp kind of thing.
Well, the mics are hot, folks. This is a fresh story from Professor Pizza.
I've never told you about that?
No, what is this day camp?
When I was a little kid, like
you're a bad kid, huh?
Of course.
They put you in some weird program.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time. I thought it was like a cool thing. I thought I was like, oh man, I'm so lucky I get to go to the bowling alley 5 times a week. It was. I don't know if it actually was a punishment, because it was pretty fun. They'd take us to like amusement parks and shit like that, but it was clearly to keep me from getting into any trouble while my parents were at work, while during summer vacation and shit like that. But it was like a weird, you'd just get picked up, and then you'd go pick up the other kids too. So you drive through all these neighborhoods you'd never go through. And you see people you never see, and then you all end up at Waterworld, and it's kind of beautiful, and you end up like making God's eyes and braiding plastic pieces into fucking bracelets.
Like, this is your Florida project.
That's actually, I think, where I got into going to the movies a lot, because that would be one thing. They just drop you off at the dollar movies, and you could go to any movie you wanted for like 8 hours.
No, that's great. So that's a weird one.
What about play me a soundtrack you think is godly that you don't think I've heard?
Well, you probably heard it, and you probably aren't gonna. No, you'll like it.
He's gonna play Inception.
Is it? I'm that much of a cheese dick. Like, no, I'm gonna play that. What's that one? Like, that was like the fucking
Requiem for a Dream.
The soundtrack for Requiem for a Dream became the soundtrack for every trailer
Oh yeah,
for a while.
Yeah.
This soundtrack here, I think is fucking godly. It's the now. Should I just play it and not tell you anything?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see if we can embarrass me with it.
All right, here we go.
Starship Troopers. You want me to describe the visual landscape the audio is giving
man,
me?
this is one of my favorite soundtrack things I've heard in years.
It's almost like you don't expect these instruments to be making this soundtrack. Like the distorted electric guitar, it would normally sound out of place, but it sounds more like a shittily recorded nylon.
That's because you don't know the genre of
Okay,
the movie.
okay.
If you knew the genre, maybe the electric guitar would make more sense, which I think
Is it a spy movie?
Boom!
Okay.
Bam! You nailed it,
All right,
baby.
all right. 007?
Oh, fuck no.
Danger 5?
It should be. Man, yeah, this would be a perfect...
You literally walled yourself off to watch that show, and
You remember that? Oh my god. That girl, I was so in love with that Ilsa from Danger 5. Oh my god, she was my life. I mean, I'll just tell you, I'm not trying to torture you.
is it a Bourne movie?
Are you kidding?
Is it John Wick 2?
No. You're
Okay.
you're really running out of, you just got nothing. You got well, no, I don't blame you. There's no way you would have get, it's the fucking stupid Guy Ritchie Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Oh, okay.
Have you
Yeah.
seen that?
No, I haven't seen
Well, clearly not. You'd know this
No.
song. I'll tell you, I think the movie lives up to this soundtrack. It's really great.
Alright.
I watched it like 5 times. I love it.
it. That's a good introduction. I'll put that on the list to watch.
You might not like it. I don't know.
The Man from Runkle?
No, it's the Flan from Blunkel. Yeah. Is that a reference that anyone, like, was that something worth rebooting? The Man from fucking Uncle? Do you even get what that?
No, I have no idea. I have no frame of reference for that.
You know why? Because The Man from Uncle was old when my dad was a kid. My dad watched The Man from Uncle when he was like a teenager. But then they made a movie that nobody gave a fuck about, and then it had a fucking godly soundtrack.
That'd be like if they rebooted Bonanza or something. For me, that would be my frame of reference for that. Is like, oh, okay, they've got a really dark and gritty Bonanza now. That's weird.
You'd be a shoe-in for Haas. You'd be
I'll take it.
I would. The dark new Haas.
He's obsessed with murder.
Well, you're giving it away that Haas is the bad guy at the end of the Bonanza movie. Yeah, that's a hot property. I can't believe nobody's snapped that.
I bet the rights holder just wants way too much for it. I bet it's been pitched, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do it for $3 billion."
Yeah, some guy in like an iron lung, some producer. He's like, tell him to remember. Like, will you just sign the papers, you old fuck?
He's trying to keep himself alive off of the blood of the young.
Bonanza. Yeah, Jesus, they did Chips. How the fuck have they not done Bonanza yet?
Did you see Chips?
No, is it funny?
No, I was going for a humorous effect by
No.
pretending I'd seen it. Here we are.
So you actually watched Bonanza, someone of your generation, and you don't know fucking The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. This soundtrack single-handedly brought the flute back. Boom!
At what time?
It's back! Can't you feel it? It's back! The flute's been back since this movie came
The
out.
flute's always been back in bands and like grade schools.
The
and stuff
Yaz
like that.
flute, baby. The Yaz flute.
The Yaz flute.
You're gonna eat the cat poop,
Now
Ron
the real
Burgundy.
question is this a tenor or an alto flute?
Oh, are you trying to embarrass me? You're trying to put me on the spot?
Well, if you're the flute expert and you know all about the trends of flute culture, I figured you wouldn't shy away from a couple questions about the flute itself.
What are my options again?
Alto and tenor.
You're making this shit up.
No,
There's
they're different
tenor
lengths and widths and girths.
Ashley, she's throwing her hands up in the air, ladies and gentlemen. This is I'm getting nothing. Jack Brown,
Jack-
no support here from the home team.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna
different-
go. This is an alto flute.
Well, this is an electric guitar.
All right,
That's a
I
hard-
told you I'm listening in mono and I can't hear myself, and you have no sympathy for me as a producer.
I appreciate the effort.
Hey, what's the different kinds of flutes? You know about flutes? Not the meat flute. That's
Skin excluded.
what kind
Hilarious.
of flutes? Do you know anything besides the Yaz flutes?
No, I absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you. I was the Yaz flute is back hard, baby. Hard.
We're listening to Manfred Mann's The Man from Runkle.
I can't get him to understand that this is a very valuable property that they licensed from the 60s that means so much to the current generation. He doesn't seem to understand. Man from Uncle was, hot. You'll never guess what soundtrack this is.
I love when they start with the name of the movie.
I'm just throwing random shit on
That
there.
feels like a move that someone would do. Is like, you got to put the name of the movie up early so people know what they're listening
Well,
to.
come on. I mean, that was the theme of the show Fright Night that we heard there. That was in the movie. So
Fair enough. It needs to be commercial.
you've never listened to the Fright Night soundtrack?
No, never sat down and listened to it.
Okay, honestly, how many times have you seen Fright Night?
4. It's not enough, but it's 4.
It's never enough. No, honestly, Fright Night's I think one of my favorites of all goddamn time, because literally the theme of the movie is a horror host.
Yes.
Fighting evil.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting sexy here.
Oh yes, I love this part.
This is the part where he's laying the bite down on
he's-
Charlie's girlfriend.
This is his greater seduction.
Remember, it shows his 1980s stereo, and he turns it up.
Oh yeah. That's the kind of stereo I want in my house.
Is that what you're going for over there?
Yes, I appreciate you like the Filth Chamber annex.
Sure. No, I appreciate you wanting that designation. Yes, but see, here's the thing. I have to see if you guys make the application or not. It's like New York death metal. It's not so easy to get in. I can't just tell you your Filth Chamber or
I'm
not.
pretty sure anyone could get into NYDM now.
Did something happen?
No, I just think time has taken a toll on it, and they're like, okay, how many members are? And no offense to anyone that's a member, that's great for you, and I just.
You're already making caveats so we don't get death threats on the podcast.
No,
I love it. I love it.
I'm just thinking about metal's so small as just a tribe itself. They're making another wall between other metalheads is a little dumb, but I do it all the time.
No, I agree.
do it all the time,
No,
so I'm
but
not above it.
But see, they weren't being inclusive though. It was really trying to be you got to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and then you might be part of it. Just make everybody part of it. Like Juggalo. You be Juggalo in 5 seconds.
They don't care.
Slap some garbage on your face, get pear-shaped. You're a Juggalo.
They don't care if you come and go as a Juggalo either. You could be a weekend Juggalo. They're fine with that. They don't
really?
care. Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Just come on in as long as you're Juggaloing along.
That's literally the only thing that's been holding me back. I thought it was you're in or you're out. So now I'm going to start dabbling.
So you're going to go to the tire shop and hang out and drink some Faygo?
Maybe. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about apparently we have some. You have to explain. We have some
I'm
local
probably gonna-
tire shop here in Denver.
Yeah, there's a place called Primo's that it's a tire shop that I don't know became a Juggalo hangout. It was kind of famous for it.
but gradually over the years and not on purpose, according to it just kind of accidentally became a Juggalo place.
I think that the owner of the tire shop was a Juggalo, and he was like, "Why not here? If not anywhere else?
If not me, who?
Yeah,
If not
yeah.
now, when?
Yeah.
He made us, and then he put one strip of paint on his face in the mirror, and he.
Well, I mean, as funny as that is, one of the coolest punk venues ever in Denver was a literal junkyard that was just a dude that owned a junkyard and was like, "Yeah, if you want to have a show, you can play in my junkyard." And
Yep.
I don't fault him, and I never thought it was. Well, I thought it was weird, but it was awesome. You know what I mean? You go to a place and the dude's like, "Here, have a baseball bat, and you can smash this car," and it's like, "Holy shit, this is the greatest thing for a bunch of young, angry 16-year-olds."
No way you'll guess who this is.
This is where they hold up Trump's head.
Have you heard this album?
I checked out some of it, but I honestly didn't give it a real intellectual listen.
I think you love it. I think it's fucking brutal, man. It's like they came back hard. This is Brujeria, ladies and gentlemen. Now, hey, Ashley, as the local beaner, how was that pronunciation? Okay, she says,
You're more south of the border than her.
dare you? How dare you?
This is already going to get flagged as an alt-right podcast.
Wait, you mean that was my intention from the beginning?
Oh, son of a bitch.
Can't you see the way I'm dressed here? Look at my aesthetic. It's all black and white. Like,
No, you dress like a death metal Doctor Who.
oh, I love you so much. I love it that you said it, so I didn't have to
A
say it.
little layup for you.
That's my personal brand. Well, yeah, what's your personal brand if you had to...
I don't like to think about it, but I think I'm just a hermit crab where I put stuff I like on myself.
Well, that's all I'm doing, but I mean, I just stumbled upon Death Metal Doctor Who, and I was like, well, yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. I have to be honest.
No, it's a good one. I got it.
I was embarrassed about it. Like,
I get it. No, that's one of those introspective things, which is why I don't have it, because I feel like whatever I come up with is going to be like deeply embarrassing, but also spot on.
Exactly.
Like when I didn't have any hair, the most perfect thing I could come up with for what I wanted to look like was a well-fed Jesus, because I wanted long hair and a beard, but I didn't want to look like I'd been walking around the desert.
Now, first of all, that's you have just forever nailed the name of your autobiography. Well-fed Jesus. Okay, that is. You're never gonna top that. Okay, and maybe
That's too fat to fish.
it's your too fat to be. That could also be your like your hip hop album.
Yeah.
Well-fed Jesus. Goddamn, bro. That's. I don't know if you ever where you found your line with your persona as a character, because to me it's like, yeah, I had to tone it way down and just realize I'm not Captain Evil. I'm just, but I mean, I'll write some crushing riffs, God damn it. But yeah, I'm not fucking. I'm flesh and blood. I love Reaper. love Mexican food.
Professor Pizza is just me without any inhibition. Like it's like I removed this, like anything that it's like. I think I asked Sherwood one time about like writing lyrics and stuff like that, and he just goes, "Just let your dark philosopher take over." And
Ooh, I like that.
That's what Professor Pizza is the dark philosopher talking shit, saying whatever he wants.
Everything he just said, trademark Professor Pizza. That's all ideas on this podcast. Trademark the respective assholes of which they came out of.
If only George Romero had that idea with Night and Day of the Dead.
You mean when George Romero did the thing he's most famous for, pioneering the huge frame glasses?
Yes. Those are a huge part of my look at this point, because I am paying tribute to the man who never copyrighted any of his fucking movie names.
Or
now we have to
anything.
sift through a Day of the Dead, Contagion, Day of the Dead,
God.
Daydream, Day of the Dead, Blood Splatter, like it's all garbage.
Yes, the computer
Sully's
generated one.
Jesus.
Oh my God, the animated one. The fucking. If you don't know who we're talking about, I'm referring to George Romero, the inventor of the huge frame glasses, who I've just discovered. Also, wait, what he did? What?
Night of the Living Dead.
Which is a film.
A black and white film shot on... A film actually shot with filament in the 1960s that had a black protagonist that dies at the end. Spoiler alert. Then he directed Dawn of the Dead, which took place inside of a mall.
Slow down.
And then...
What does this have to do with the frames?
Well, they were just along for the ride for all of it, really. I mean, those are the frames that he saw that vision through. Creepshow 3. Have you seen that?
Yes. Yes. So what's your review? Well, I'm sorry, because I'm saying I didn't like it, but maybe you're gonna say like Creepshow 3 was my favorite one.
Oh, no, it's a baby diaper full of dog shit. It's awful.
Okay. All right. So we're on the same page. Well, it's not licensed. It's like they licensed the name, and nothing to do with because clearly it was Romero and King was Creepshow.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's the same thing where like, did they not know a lawyer? Like, it's like, what is the strategy of like not protecting anything that you make? Like, I get it.
Oh, it was Romero. It's Romero again.
Yes, exactly. That's
The man
to his life.
Have you watched the Italian cut of Dawn of the Dead?
I've got that.
It's weird.
I've got that Ultimate Edition where it has all
right,
of them.
yeah,
I've gone through that a couple of times.
Well, it's very goblin-y, and it's weird. Like I don't know. He really tried to cut out a lot of the message and stuff.
Isn't the rumor that
Well, in Italy, Dawn of the Dead is the first movie.
Yes.
And it's called just Zombie.
yes,
And then so Fulci, with no permission,
Zombie 2? Yes.
no permission, we're making this movie. It's going to come out the same fucking year or whatever, or like the next year, and it's called Zombie 2. And then I think Argento actually tried to sue him. It was like, no, that guy was, there was no like, oh, we licensed the name. And like, But yeah, it was in Italy. It was considered the official sequel. So then there's like all these zombie movies that followed after that. So it's like this weird fork in the timeline of the zombie movies that in Italy they had a weird alternate universe zombie apocalypse. They got really weird.
I feel like Zombie 2 is the movie that just keeps giving. Like upon first viewing, of course, you're into the zombie versus shark scene, but after that, like you keep
That's
watching
epic.
it. It's, I mean, no one's thought of it. No one's done it since. God damn it! Bring that back, gritty and well done.
Where do you find the guy to do that?
No, but you're talking about who would go down and actually swim with a shark dressed like a zombie and wrestle around with it. Like,
Yeah, how do you find that guy?
But that was that era of Italian filmmaking where it was just like, fuck the regulation. Here, take the thing. And just like they've killed animals. Like they literally killed horses
boy.
just for fun in a lot of those fucking
Yeah.
movies.
Oh boy, don't remind me. No, the thing, like I remember the first time I saw The Gates of Hell, I was like, they put maggots in that lady's mouth. That's not CG. Yeah.
He's, like a director who does the L and the 7 and does like the framing. I think he's doing that, but looking at someone's mouth and thinking like, God, how gross can I make this?
I'm pretty sure, like, it's almost like Fulcher was like, you're gonna be in my movie. Like, okay, well, something bad gonna be in your mouth. I'm gonna, like, you think, well, in this good
Next, like Sam Raimi, where I imagine every time an actress walks into Sam Raimi's office, he stares uncomfortably at her mouth for like a little too long.
It's interesting. Yeah, because I just rewatched Drag Me to Hell, and yeah,
All mouth. It's all mouth.
it's all, and it's,
There's
yeah.
a healthy heaping bunch of all of it, you know?
Yeah, I think he was working something out there. I don't know. I liked it. I went saw it in the theater.
Mouth based.
Well, I was just refreshed to see something gross. It's like, oh my god, this is actually gross. Like, I think it even had some booger.
Well, it feels
Boogers in it.
Yeah, it's got boogers, it's got pus, and just like vomit. But it's like it fits into the Evil Dead universe, but it's
Yeah,
not
it
an
does.
Evil Dead movie. But
That's what
it's
pissed me
totally
off.
an Evil Dead movie.
I wish he could have just pushed it just one little nudge, and it would have been an Evil Dead movie. And I kind of wish he had done that, but
maybe
whatever.
he's leaving it as an Easter egg for all of us
Yeah,
deep
whatever.
diggers to discover.
It doesn't matter now. We got Ash versus Evil
Speaking
Dead. I
of
have mixed feelings about Ash versus Evil Dead getting canceled. What are your thoughts, sir?
As a fan, like I'm mourning the loss of Ash because I think that there's something about Ash as a character being consistent in popular culture that I like, and I like that in the newer, like in this new series, they've been basically making an 80s man deal with modern life, which I always find interesting, and I like that. However, I think that a lot of the criticism you had about the show rings true, where it was too much fun, not enough spookiness, and I love the fun. I love the fun. I had a lot of fun with it, but I could want more from the whole.
I learned to love the fun. I learned to see it. Yeah, because I had this thought in my head that it was going to be this right in between Evil Dead 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It was going to be, and especially because they had that amazing remake, which I really liked. Which
I thought that remake was good too.
and I wanted that tone for the monsters with Ash being Ash versus that. But then the show was like the monsters wisecracking and breakdancing and farting all over the place. Okay, like, oh, Ashy slash. I hate when the monsters make jokes.
Yeah.
Just
Well, and why would you taunt someone with no shame? That's the thing I always wonder. Is like you're going to use
Exactly,
that
why-
as a device to scare Ash, who has no shame. You can't shame Ash Williams.
which is exactly why I don't taunt you. You're just as shameless as him, in my opinion. But the thing was that once I locked into it, though. I locked into the tone after a while because I started to realize, well, this is the horror version of the Batman 66 show. And then I love it.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
Including the fights. It's like, bam, pow, splat. It's like, Ash's, and it was so gory. And man, they really, that thing with the corpse in season 2. You remember that when he was in the morgue? And he stuck his head up the ass. And the cock was flopping around on his fucking face. Yeah, I was watching that. I was going, okay, this would have gotten 13 X's in 1987. Like right after Evil Dead. Yeah, and it's on TV, and there was feces and semen all over his face and stuff. Jesus Christ, Fulci would have been arrested for this.
So you would have to defend it in court.
But Yes, so I give it credit for that, and it was really cool because also, if you recall, I don't know if you rewatched the first season, but it's really CGI-ish, and then you watch season 2, and wow, they really stepped up the practical and shit on the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, they probably got a little more budget for it, or like that was something they recognized was
They
kind
built
of
a whole town. I don't know how they built a whole fucking town. It looked great. The sets were gorgeous, but then they did stupid shit like the car getting possessed.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, the tone bugged me, but then I was in love with that gorgeous,
Dana De Lorenzo.
just right out of the Patrick Brush template for a gorgeous. Yeah.
What about the scene where she smokes weed out of a shotgun when she's possessed and she's seducing Pablo?
I gotta say, I was less turned on by her when she was possessed.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know, it didn't seem like the real her. I mean,
No shit.
No, I don't mean the character. I'm turned on by her, the actual woman, the actress herself.
Gotcha.
Like I'm Dana De Lorenzo. I'm literally in love with you. Okay, I'm talking
She's
to
one
you.
of the dozens of listeners that we have.
Yeah, oh, come on. She knows this is the cusp of media here. Look what's going on here.
Well, she's hoping for a review of Ashy versus Evil Dead from two motherfuckers.
Well, I'll have to think about it.
Never heard this album before.
Oh, this is it, Ben Slayer?
Slayer.
Have you heard of Slayer?
Heard of Slayer. I listened to this album for damn near 4 years straight.
Now, during what age though? Like
High school. 16 to 19. It was a 3-year long dissection of an like I knew that this was to me a perfect album, but I didn't like have the vocabulary to describe why or like repeat it myself, if that makes sense. Like it was just a constant 3-year absorption. Anywhere I went, this was in my car and I was listening to it, and like
But just this one, not the other Slayer album?
just Rain and Blood.
Huh.
It was their youthful, like their fire and anger.
This riff.
Yes. Which that was the riff that got me into Slayer. Like I heard Fear Factory cover that riff like at a festival or something, and I was like, that's the greatest riff I've ever heard. I have to go find everything by that band.
That's one of the most evil riffs I've ever.
There isn't a more evil thrash riff. It's one of those riffs when you learn how to play it, you're like, how the fuck does this even work?
That was a Hanneman, right?
Yeah.
Jack's gonna get all upset here. Jack is like an absolute.
He's a King fan? You're in the King corner?
Kerry King is one of our last surviving representatives of tribal tattoos that will be in museums someday. You understand?
Well, he's perfectly in tune with 1995.
I mean, those are bold statements, and I'd like to know if he could say that to Kerry King's face. Jack, open the door. We've got Kerry King right behind door number 2.
Oh, hi, Gary. You can't play guitar or hockey.
Have you ever met Kerry King?
No.
First time I met Kerry King, which was I was at a hamburger joint in LA called Grill 'Em All, and it's like a famous metal joint. Like they serve metal themed burgers. They got like a Paul Bailoff burger, and like everything's named after bands, Municipal Waste, whatever. They do these big themes, but he's a big fan of them. Like he had them come cater his birthday party kind of thing. So I went in one day and he was in, and I'm doing the thing where I'm gonna play it cool. I'm just gonna observe, you know, I'm gonna stand back here, get my burger. But I couldn't help myself. I walked up to him,
Right.
and I like, you know, extended my hand and just said, you know, something stupid along the lines of, you know, we just talked about how I had a 3-year examination of Rain and Blood. So I'm obsessed. I walk up to him and I'm like, it's a real pleasure to meet you. Like your music, I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but I want you to know that your music has had like a huge influence on my life, and I appreciate that you made it. And the response I got was, yeah, that's nice. At the time, I was like hurt and upset and mad, but now that I think about it, I wouldn't want any other type of type of interaction. Like, I feel like he needs to stay a bad dude in my mind. Like he needs to stay a character.
Okay.
He can't humanize, because like that's one thing that happens when you meet your heroes or whatever is they humanize, and I don't know how to explain it other than like the mythology falls away, and
I don't
it's-
mind that though. I actually like to see the human side. That actually makes
Certain
me like
people.
them better.
Certain people.
Oh, I hear you.
Like there's certain idols that you don't want to crumble.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Is it because of Reign in Blood?
It is 100%. Like
Okay, I gotcha.
I don't worship him, but I worship
Right.
Slayer and I worship the work that they've done. So like, and I also know that his mythological figure is asshole essentially. So like, if he wasn't an asshole,
Jack would
I'd be
agree with
upset.
that. Yeah, Jack would agree.
It's almost like
He's
he,
half asshole, the other half asshole.
well, I mean, if he was super gracious and he was like, that's really cool, man. You want to sit with me and have a beer, and that would be great. And let's just kind of talk about how much you liked my music. That would be even worse. Like that would be fucking terrible.
I wouldn't mind that.
I don't think I'd like it. I think it would weird me out.
But see, I'm like my Kerry King is like, Dan Swano, and he's like one of the most the nicest guy. Like he'd probably hug me if he met me. Like, oh, thank you so much. Like,
Do you realize what's going on here? Jenny's watching House. And I don't mean MD, motherfucker.
Oh, hey, all right. Well, I was going to be into it either way, but
I mean 1986. Now, wouldn't that be a good crossover? House in House.
Hugh Laurie actually in the house. He's got to deal with the monsters.
Come on, what can't Lifetime get behind that? Put some dollars behind that? That would be amazing.
well, if we want, you have a history of manifesting things like bringing Joe Bob Briggs back.
Yeah, we got to talk about that at some point here. We got to make a solid chunk of that.
But you have a history. The point I'm making is that you have a history of manifesting things. So if we continue to talk about Dr. Gregory House exploring the house from House, we may actually get that crossover.
House.
We'll get that crossover.
Yeah, as long as I get no credit,
Yeah.
it'll happen.
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Not a single red cent, not a dime, no acknowledgement.
Well, we all have our Vietnams, and
Paper tigers.
my Vietnam was a tourist trap when I was a kid. That movie terrified me more than I thought was humanly possible to be terrified.
Friday the 13th for me, and it was 100%. Like, I didn't even make it to the fact that Jason was like an undead killer. I just thought that it was scary enough that someone could just put a mask on and decide to kill a bunch of people.
So how did you feel when you actually watched and you found out, oh no, he's a fucking zombie?
yeah, it was. I mean, it took me a while to come back to it because I think I was 5 the first one I saw, and it was some sort
okay.
of monster vision, like Friday the 13th marathon.
So Joe Bob's to blame yet again?
Of course, he's to blame. It was either him or the other Commander
Bob.
Keen. Was no, not Commander Keen. That's a
Commander USA.
Commander
That's
USA,
my guy.
yes.
Yeah.
It was either him or Joe Bob that introduced me to Friday
no,
the
come
13th, but it was Friday the 13th part 8. That was the one that scared the shit out of me.
Which one is 8? I don't.
That's Jason Goes to Manhattan, baby.
That was the first one you saw?
I didn't get past him actually like getting off the boat. I was so scared.
I didn't know that was the first one you saw. You've never told me. That's a weird one to start on, though.
It was that one, and then like I ran away, and then I came back to it later because I was like, maybe that's creepy stuff is still on.
But the
And it was
earlier
5.
ones are so much scarier. So did those were those harder to watch for you?
Yeah, they were harder because I would go to summer camp too. And so like that whole thing scared the shit out of me. I'm like, holy fuck, like that could happen at summer camp?
You had the full imagery.
Yeah.
How close was your camp to Camp Crystal
No,
Lake?
not even close. No, it was a mountain camp, so it was actually more like about hiking than it was about canoeing or swimming.
Well, so you were more in danger from Cropsy than you were from Jason. Gotcha. Or even Madman Mars. I think maybe you were in
Yes.
Madman Mars territory.
I'm still scared of Madman Mars.
Well, he's just a big fat. Like he seems like he'd be huggable.
It's like
he's
looking
big
in a
fat-
mirror. That's why I'm scared of him. He's my bottom. Like if I look like Madman Mars, it's time to.
Oh, come on. Give yourself some credit. I think you're much more closer to the guys from Just Before Dawn. I have to. I don't know. If we have to body type our slashers here, which I'm firmly against.
Oh, we're just body typing. We're not body shaming ourselves.
That's right. Yes. I'm all for. Honestly, I prefer a fat slasher. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
What is it? What's the that drummer from that Phil Anselmo band where he's the slasher in those creepy videos?
Oh Oh shit! Wait, are you talking about when Phil was in Necrophagia?
Yes. Yes.
Shit, I forgot
Yes.
about that shit.
No, I mean, he's
Oh my
creepy
God.
as fuck. That fat drummer in
Yeah.
that is creepy as
Yeah,
fuck.
he's like vomiting blood and shit. Yeah,
and jizzing.
those videos, with a big fake prosthetic dick. Those videos are directed by Jim Van Bibber, who did Deadbeat at Dawn and shit. He's like a very controversial underground filmmaker.
Wait, hold on. Let me fart real quick. Oh, God. That was a good one.
You gonna sit there farting while they judge you?
Hopefully.
Oh shit!
If you would like to rank my farts, at Axslasher on Twitter and Instagram.
No, I'm surprisingly fart shy for how disgusting I am as a human, just overall. Maybe
I'm a little similar in the same way that I don't really get off on farting in front of people unless it's like really funny. Like if it's just kind of a haha, then I'm not really interested. But if it's like a whole group of people watching a movie and I can come up behind you and like really let a frog rip, then I'm interested. Yeah, like something that could have a tagline attached to it. I'm really interested in those types of
Freddy line level fart.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
You're right. Like, wow, he really sent that home.
Exactly, but like if it's just like in the middle of a sentence, like it's not worth like the derailment of conversation just for like a chuckle, Like it's got to be.
The silent but violent. But
I must have a lot of what is it called, mucoid plaque.
Jesus Christ! I'm gonna have to edit that out. That's horrific.
I made the mistake of Googling that today.
Number one, that is a crypticus song title. I have called it. Coined and minted. That mucoid plaque.
Have you ever looked that up on the internet?
No, because I'm full of it and I don't want to know. I have so much mucoid plaque in me that it stops me from looking it up, like the Blob.
Mucoid plaque is built up from your body producing extra mucus and you swallowing it because it's having issues digesting what you're putting into it. And it hardens into like a tire rubber inside of your intestines. So when you do these when you do these what do you call them, cleanses or colonic, all that shit comes out. But the funny thing about it is it stays in the shape of like your intestines. So like people shit out these like 2.5 feet long like just rubber fucking lengths of intestine. And then
I've done that.
Yeah. Well, no, you have to do the cleanse though. Oh, you've shit out your own mucoid
For some other reason, that's already happened, so I'm good.
Well, we did start, but
I'm dropping bombs like Hiroshima.
You did say that you independently expelled mucoid plaque, so I mean, most people have to do a 2-day cleanse. So
that was at a seance once. I was at a seance and I expelled some mucoid plaque.
Well, that's something that they had to change about The Exorcist, is they couldn't have everything fly out of her butt.
I find The Exorcist to be a very sensual, sexual movie.
It could be with a certain eyes. Yeah.
Oh God, this is a horrible road to go down. I'm trying to think of what not to say so I don't have to edit more. Well, it's Ride or Die here at the Filth Chamber. Now, where did I put that? Let's see, did I put that?
How would I know? How would the audience know?
You sound like my mom talking to my dad. Bob, how would they know? Well, I was talking to myself, Jaffia.
Into a microphone?
Well, I didn't know the mic was on. Bob, we're using hot mics here. My parents' podcast, especially since my dad's dead. It's terrifying.
Actually, I would listen to a podcast of her trying to summon his spirit.
The spirit of Bob. What would the spirit of Bob Bruss be doing?
Start cooking. If he gets summoned, that's immediately where he goes. He doesn't stop to say hello to her. He goes straight to the pan and starts cooking up some shit. I'll be with you in a moment, honey. This is fun, speaking ill of the dead to his living kin.
Well, you're setting up. I'm going to have a hereditary-like scenario tonight with my dad naked at the foot of my bed because of all this talk.
Good.
Yeah, but
that's where you get it from.
What? I don't sleep naked. I need my boys held together.
Like them tucked.
Yes. No, I've got I don't know about you, but you're getting up there. How's the balls? Because
They're fine.
wait till you get up in your 30s and shit. You get about an inch a year. It's amazing.
In length or girth?
Well, what depends on.
Take your pick.
We'll see. It depends on your genetics.
They just keep swelling and swelling.
Like planets. Talking about how long our balls were getting.
That untapped ground there by all comedians, how long your balls get when you age. But does your dick grow?
Oh no, that doesn't work. No.
Of course
That's
not.
the opposite. No, it's
That's proof there is a God. He's playing a joke on us. The thing you want, your dick to get bigger, not gonna happen. The thing you don't want, your balls, those are gonna get unruly. Like they're gonna be like a lawn that you have to deal with and manage each week.
It would be weird, wouldn't it? Like if you gained an inch of cock per year, the way you gain an inch of like earlobe, or the way you lose an inch of hairline,
Dudes be fucking if that was the case.
just. Man, you see that 100-year-old dude? His cock's like just dragging the ground. It's huge and veiny and like just throbbing.
They'd have to redesign pants. Male pants would be way different than women pants, and it wouldn't just be that women pants don't have pockets.
Well, you know that women gain like an inch.
Clit length.
That's it. That's what I was looking for.
I know. That's why I like the older porn. I really like a pronounced clit. Like one of these quarter-inch jacks.
Speaking, where is quarter-inch Jack right now?
Speaking of ball length,
tight balls. You got to give him that.
Jack is very tight. I've felt his entire body.
I've gotten lots of length, like dangerous amounts of length.
Do you breach the surface of the water?
Not yet, but
Do you worry soon and like take precautions like tucking or holding?
Joey Coco Diaz says his balls literally touch
swim.
the water.
Yeah, they swim.
Can you imagine that?
No, you'd be.
Dog, every time I take a shit, it brushes the back of my balls.
So you gotta wipe your ass and your balls. That's like a whole extra step I'm
You
not
have
looking
to throw
for.
your balls over your shoulder when you take a
like
shit.
a continental soldier. No, I'm on the bidet kick. That shit, like you could hit that.
You got a bidet?
You can clean your balls with that all you want. Yeah,
At your house?
yeah,
You didn't tell me that came with a bidet.
yeah.
It's in the downstairs?
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
okay, 'cause
master
I didn't
bedroom.
see-
Of
yeah, I
course,
didn't
you'll
see
never
it.
see it.
We installed it ourselves when we moved in.
No, it actually the previous owner had it, and I made sure that he left it in when we moved in.
A bidet?
It was great. It's great. I highly recommend it. I feel like someone who takes their anal cleanliness as serious as you do, this
I
is
do.
something that you should look into. The for about $80, I think you get the same one we have, and it is really a life-changing thing.
It would be like one of those crazy Japanese ones.
You can get a crazy Japanese style one for less than $200.
Oh, really? Oh, so they've come down.
The technology is now affordable.
Can I get a USB one?
I don't see why not.
All right. Now I'm in.
Actually, it'd be kind of funny if one had like a Bluetooth speaker on it and it played directly into the bowl.
It's very. You gotta pair it with your ass before you sit down. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
It's
Well, you got to enter the pairing code into your actual asshole.
Yes, and it's very difficult when you have the green apple 2 steps from eating too much candy and drinking too much wine.
Well, when you're my size, it's hard to get to your touchpad.
That's why you need the one that when you sit on it, it recognizes your ass print. Just immediately.
That's a little too intimate for me.
The one that you just wink a certain way and it recognizes and it goes, "Oh, Mr. Bruss, welcome again. You've winked to the left. That means purchase this on Amazon."
Yeah,
You've winked
I don't
to the-
need any of that shit.
I've got the bidet that also makes the coffee and everything.
So you never have to leave the bidet. It's just a
Right.
constant cycle of diarrhea, coffee, diarrhea, coffee.
Yes. It's very expensive. I bought it in Japan.
It's your own human
Yes.
centipede.
And it's also, you strap into virtual reality while you're on it. It's a whole thing.
So it's like you're shitting off of Mount Fuji.
Yeah. And I'm Godzilla while doing it.
What time is it? Let's wrap it up, my friend. I got to get going.
There's no wrapping it up. We just stop. This is how it works. We start soft, we end soft.
Just like sex.
You can quote us on that, ladies.
Sometimes I go soft in the middle too.
Well, you know, it's when you've had one too many kombuchas.
It's very much like a, what do you call it? Shooting pool with rope.
Well, you are getting old. You know, every year adds another inch to that dick. I know. You know, I'm down to my knees.
It's like rings on a tree. You can count the inches.
I also get an inch in girth every year, which is really becoming unmanageable.
Now that's interesting. I don't have that.
I think it's Brazilian. It's the Brazilian.
I've just got basically a long fettuccine hanging
Gets thinner and darker.
towards the tip or the middle.
Well, it's kind of it's like thinning towards the tip. Yeah.
No, I would think it's thinning in the middle, like Play-Doh, when you stretch it and then let gravity pull
like
it the rest
Plato
of the
the
way.
philosopher. His dick did that too. I read.
It was more like a mosquito. He would just kind of dip it in real quick and dip
I
it
have
out.
read those papers. Yes.
It rolled up underneath him when he was done, like a butterfly's mouth.
This is the dumbest thing we've ever talked about on this
What you're
podcast.
talking about with the rolled up penis bit.
My balls are longer than ever.
Cut. That's the end of the
And-
podcast.
Any moment you talk to me, that's the longest my balls have been. And that's always true. That's a truism.